product reviews, put it there, replace. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to grab this stuff, and I'm going to paste it into here instead. Okay, so here's the new one that I just created, where I exported it. I didn't delete the folder because it's a repository now. It's a Git repository. So I don't want to delete that whole folder. So now I can go. I can even look in my my repository here and say Git status. Oh look, something was edited here. The views was edited. Git diff. Okay, so here's what was changed. I mean, this is exactly the same thing you just saw in your user interface. But if you're familiar with version control, this makes all the difference in the world. So now I can go back into here, product review view, and now it sees, oh, default. It's not overridden anymore. We're all good. Yeah.
Another question. I noticed in the features login page a field called version.
Features. The views API.
No. What's in the?
Oh, when I created it. Okay, yeah. So if you're,
version.
Okay, well, let's look at those. So version, it's just a field. You can type anything you want into it.
Okay, so that's a user defined.
Yeah. So it gives you some examples here for 6. This is kind of Drupal standard-ish nomenclature. Okay, so they give you this as an example for what you could put in there if you wanted to, and also. And it goes along with the version. So URL of update XML. So what is this? So what Development Seed also created when they released features is they created, technically it's a feature, but it's called a feature server. So what you can do is it's almost kind of like its own mini Drupal.org with the files, and then with the file downloads, and so you can actually serve that up. So if you put the URL of where it is, it will know to go and look to that feature server for updates, just like your normal update status does. It doesn't go to Drupal.org, but it'll go to your own feature server, or if you found one that you're going to use, or maybe your whole company has one that you always use whenever you roll out a new review website.
So if you specify an area, that'll be where
it'll put it up there. And then if you're doing that, you want to use versions, because you don't know, which version is this, and then it's going to need to find out whether it's a new version. You define all that yourself.
It's everything else. Okay. Great. Thanks.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions about this? Yeah.
Let's go back to the part about overwriting views. So let's say you want to enhance this, so you actually talk to server, you come up with views more, make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Then how do you get those changes here?
You just drop the new module. It's like you're updating.
So you create a new feature?
Well, if you're back in your development, I'll tell you what my process is for this normally. Is I will do all the configuration, half of it, or kind of whenever I feel like I'm done. Export my feature, okay? Then I will go to a kind of a new site. I won't delete the old one, or maybe I'll take a snapshot of it with the demonstration module, right? So snapshot it somehow to save it as it was in case, crap, I forgot something, right? So save it, maybe do a new install, or maybe just make a backup of it, and then I will revert back to, erase the database, enable the feature, and then play around with it and see what I want. Now it's all based on the feature, so you can start seeing the overrides. So then you go and make overrides, save it out again, replace it back, and it'll just do exactly what it did here, where it just says, oh, now we're default again, right? Because you made those configuration changes, you exported those changes to the file, you put the file, it's like updating a module, drop the files back into that folder again, and now it'll start looking to those files and say, oh, this is the same that's in the database, we're just going to use the files now, because it's faster. Yeah?
Is there any typical actions that you do differently when you want to use features? Like, I kind of heard about maybe not using blocks too much. Or,
okay, so right, you're probably thinking of context, the context module. Okay.
I don't know. I just kind of heard some things, and I'm not sure. I guess if you use it to the maximum, are there things that you would usually do in Drupal that you shouldn't do, or maybe do differently to make the best use of features?
I don't know. His question was, if you didn't hear that, is there anything different you would do in setting up or something that because you're using features, you're doing it differently. And no, not really.
Maybe avoid strange modules to work with.
That could be, yeah. Maybe you pick certain modules that.
So are there any big modules that are very often used that do not support features?
Workflow is my current bug. Yeah, there's probably some, but you know, if it's a really big module and people really want it, they'll work on it. You know, because people want this sort of thing. Content access is one that's a little weird. It just requires strong arm. That's all. You know, and if you don't remember to enable strong arm, you won't be able to grab those out. Even so, content access. Yeah, content access is a little weird. Because I think actually, okay, that's what it is. Content access is a little weird just because it has one variable for all of its configuration, so you can't do it like by content type. Also, content profile is it's just a little weird. It doesn't say that it requires strong arm, but it does, you know. And if you try to export it, you'll actually be losing some. So you'll see some really weird, goofy stuff sometimes. But play around with it and see what you find, you know. And a lot of times, if you want to know if it has features integration, go to that module and search the issue queue. Because probably what happened is someone put in an issue that says, make features integration. And then you can see, oh, yep, committed to version 6.x, you know, 1.2 or something. So then you know that they have it. My big one right now, though, is workflow, because there is so much to configure on the workflow module. And it ties beautifully with content types, but there's no features integration. Yeah.
Is there a module you would point us to if we were module developers and wanted to know how to make features recognize our modules?
I have looked for that myself, and there are lots of different ways to do that. A common method is to utilize ctools. That's what StrongArm does. ctools has an exportables system built into it that would probably make it very, very easy for you to build features integration into your module using ctools. If you don't use ctools, you have to build your own. You have to build your own exportable system, and that can be a little hairy depending on how complex your data structure is. Or if it's just a variables table, just use StrongArm. I mean, that's all you need. I think we are out of time here, and I think other people are going to want to come in here. So, thank you very much.